Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. We're good. It's nice.
Hi, how are you? Okay, I was, you know why I'm on doing an email, so I thought, well, I better come and say hi. I got this one stupid email out.
No problem. Take your time.
Oh no, don't say that. It'll be days
Okay.
otherwise.
Ah.
Yeah, you don't know me well enough to say that. Oh, geez, forget it. Phil knows.
Phil,
Oh, man.
I have this vision of you sitting inside a closet with like blankets around you.
I am. So I moved out into the light because we have another part of the basement where there's it's much brighter, but this is the sound studio. I'm on a laptop, so if I flip things around, I'll break all the cords. But I'm in the family does a lot of music, so we have a sound studio. So all these are all moving blankets, is what they are. And then,
That is cool.
yeah, and then this glare off my face is because I can't get the lighting right. So.
Okay, I've stopped. I can't find it.
So Kenny sits in the dark because if Kenny was in the light, the glare off his head would be about as bright as the one.
That is so mean. Like, why do you behave that way?
I've been mean to Kenny all day today.
Seriously.
I missed you, man. I haven't seen you in days.
Liza doesn't even know me. Try to be nice for the first couple minutes, then she can make her own judgments.
Okay,
As I drink my scotch and water.
Oh man, I should have got a glass of wine.
Yeah,
It's 4 o'clock. Well, listen, go. It's 4 o'clock.
Go get one.
Go get a glass of wine.
Back.
Seriously,
It'll
go.
be fine.
It's all good.
It's fine. But I will say that number one, my name is pronounced Liza.
Liza? Okay.
And number two, Kenny, you look like a spitting image of George Clooney in this light.
Man, you are going to get such a hug if we ever get out of COVID and I see you. Thank you. You know what?
You're wrong.
We're recording.
I'm
telling
comfortable
Amelia
where this is going.
No way.
I'm going to get dropped off this podcast fast. I don't know what's
I am telling Amelia that I look like George Clooney in the right light.
There you go. Perfect. I love it.
You're sweetheart. Thank you. I'll take that and run.
You know, that's not going to help me, right? That's now.
I'm loving this
I'll
podcast
play that
already.
back like a million times. Maybe I'll edit it out, actually.
You know what? That should be the intro.
Maybe I'll edit it out.
No, that's the new
That's
intro.
what I'll do.
Put your little music to that.
Gosh.
Just take out the part about the light. Just say George Clooney and walk away. Just cut it there.
Yeah, it's not the lighting at all.
Oh
my dear,
gosh.
I know myself. It's 100% the lighting.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
100% the lighting. It's all good.
So for the audience, we have Liza on today. Liza, right?
Liza. Yeah.
Lisa.
Liza. Okay. I'm doing that because I have short-term memory. So you said
So
it.
do I. And then I said it too.
I
And
like,
Lisa,
and then like 2 minutes later, I'm like,
Lisa.
wait, what did she say? So no, we have Liza on. I met Liza not long ago, really. Maybe a couple of months ago, maybe, I think.
Yes, I think
so. So Liza and I we're going to be on a panel with some Ryerson students. I unfortunately couldn't be there, but she hung out with another bunch of smarty pants and had a great retail discussion. Since then, I've picked up with Liza. I thought she would just be really cool on the podcast because she's I'm going to lump you in with us. You're a retail geek. She's got a really cool background. I'm just going to cover the highlights and then she's going to tell us more. But she's got Ralph Lauren in her background, Club Monaco, and then she's worked with folks like Nike and Walmart. And then her experience is everything: bricks and mortar, e-commerce, omnichannel. And now she is the principal or founder.
so. Principal and founder.
Excellent. And so she's going to tell you about that too. But I had a great time talking with I didn't even say. So she's the principal and founder of Retail Strategy Group, which I left out. But she's super cool. Like I had a lot of fun when we caught up last time, and I thought on the podcast, it'd just be really great. So welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'm
excited to talk shop.
Yeah, no, we love
like
it.
We've been talking retail all day.
Yeah.
My favorite subject.
It's awesome. Do you want to kind of expand a little and tell the audience a little bit about kind of where you come from, your experience?
Yeah, sure. Well, should I start from the beginning?
Wherever you want.
You start from wherever you like. So what's most interesting to you?
So retail is definitely in my DNA. I was one of those fashion students that worked on the shop floor from, I think I was 15. So, like yesterday. But so I have really loved retail from a very young age, working on the shop floor, visual merchandising, and then of course going to Ryerson School of Fashion, where I graduated and immediately left the country and moved to the UK, where I worked for Harrods. I was part of their program where you start on the shop floor, you understand the customer. And if you've been to Harrods, you'll understand that the customer is extremely diverse and all walks of life. It was fabulous. But I only stayed there a year, and I didn't stay for their move into the corporate office. And I actually left to go design for another company in the UK, where I designed bags and luggage. My claim to fame, if you are a football/soccer fan, is that I designed all the bags for FIFA World Cup 2002.
Oh, wow.
And yes, I know, it's amazing, cool. Especially considering I've probably never seen a match before. That job. And growing up in that area of Chelsea, I tried not to tell anyone what I did, because I would get told off by the Chelsea Football Club.
Exactly.
It's actually kind of dangerous over there, right? Like you can't really.
Yeah, it can be. They have a reputation.
Football's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, but it's like incredibly dangerous if you're the wrong fan in the wrong neighborhood. So
just remember what neighborhood you're in, and that's the jersey you wear.
There you go.
Not rocket science, kids.
No, I mean, that's fair across all sports, probably.
No, soccer, football. No, pretty much that's really on their sport. They're animals.
Yeah,
they're a whole different breed.
After I worked as a designer, I actually moved back to Canada, and I worked for Holt Renfrew. That's where I started my buying career. And I moved on to buy for Caban, which was part of the Clamonico group, predominantly in women's wear, accessories. I did some product development, beautiful Canadian cashmere programs. And then what did I do? Oh yes, this is when I had my first stint in consulting, and I was a wardrobe consultant. I was determined to do styling and wardrobing for people, but that was a total fail because I made no money because I kept doing work for all my friends. So, that's a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
We
your friends are
Kenny
happy.
Kenny and I are both suckers like that too.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? You know what? You learned something. It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
And I had a blast. I definitely had a blast. Right? Yeah. And then I basically decided that I should not do that anymore. And then I moved back to the Ralph Lauren group, and I was the merchandising production manager for them. I think I was the third person hired in the Canadian office. Awesome experience setting up a new business, a new office in a new country for them, because as we know, fashion companies have a million legacy systems, so nobody could ship to Canada. So we had to set up an office here. A similar thing is happening with Brexit, as you may have read. Where you do have to set up shop in the country where you want to ship to. Otherwise, it's so expensive, and it's a total nightmare.
Yeah.
I actually moved back to England in 2014. They couldn't keep me away. And I was with Ralph Lauren there, where I was the buying lead for Lauren, for the brand Lauren for Northern Europe. So UK, Ireland, Scandinavia, the Baltics, sometimes France.
All the warm countries. Good.
All the warm countries.
Yeah.
And
summer destinations.
Yes. Very stylish countries also.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
That's
and
true.
Then I moved back to Canada in 2018, where I joined the Accenture Retail Strategy Group as a subject matter expert in soft lines merchandising, where they did not have any clients here. for an experienced hire with my background. And I did a lot of my work with Nike, actually, through Accenture. And in November, I launched my own practice, Retail Strategy Group. And I am now also writing content for the merchant life. So that's my background. Not a nutshell, sadly, sorry. But
no, that's perfect.
I've done a lot.
And so November, you are you. Like you're it.
I am it.
And what are you doing what are you doing? Okay, and so what are you doing for you now? What's your gig now?
So I heard your title, but my gig now is working with retailers, small, medium, large brands, to help them understand what it means to live and work in today. We talk about the future of retail, but really that is right now.
Right.
And, as most people are aware, it's been accelerated by technology and, digital just taking over. So I think that a lot of retailers need help. So I help them with merchandise optimization, helping them understand what tools are out there, and also helping retail tech companies understand what it means to be a retailer, because we find a lot of technology companies are putting tools out there without an understanding of what it means to be a merchant, a salesperson, creating product. So I think just bridging that gap. So that's the kind of work that I do.
So a lot of it's still with bricks and mortar who have
both.
An online play or online that.
Yeah,
both. Okay.
It's both. Yeah, it's both. I mean, as you know, some DTC brands are moving into the physical space. So it's bridging that gap of not understanding what it means to have a physical assortment versus a digital, and vice versa.
Right. Yeah, I'm not too sure which one's the harder move or harder understanding.
I know, it's tough.
Yeah, because they can be both thick at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's
tough for moving into each other's spaces. It's hard for retailers because retailers don't understand. You don't need to bring the whole 80,000 SKU store online.
Exactly.
And the other one doesn't understand that, it's tough to merchandise 18,000 colors just because you can online. You need to store the size of a football field just for t-shirts, men's, medium.
Exactly.
Right?
You're totally right. And I just wrote a piece around overdevelopment that we published today. And, we all know that fashion pollutes the environment. And, they're culprits in, carbon emissions while producing product. But the one thing that I think a lot of people don't know is that we are conditioned as merchants, retailers, buyers to overbuy. So that's something that hopefully will start to change in the future as retailers understand what it means to be online, what it means to be, in a physical store, but having visibility to inventory. Oh my God, that's a challenge.
Yeah, I think I, at the risk of putting myself out there, but I think that I still think that the formula works better when a retailer, from the retailer point of view, I guess from what I've seen is retailers still have a better sense of metrics and a better sense of profitability. I don't know, like brands that DTC brands that go in store, I think they really struggle with some of those metrics, like beyond the brand, because you do so much time measuring your brand and how your brand resonates that getting in store and the retailing piece escapes them.
Well, you kind of forget the other side, right?
Yeah.
And really and truly, when you're in bricks and mortar, you have so much overhead in so many different levels that where you don't online, that you kind of lose sight of what a margin, the margin required in the store is very different than the margin required online. But if your online is smart, copy the in-store margin, because that's a way better margin. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason you have to blow your brain out online just because you're online. You just make that much more money. And then it's an easier transition, because I think you're right, Phil. I think that one metric is probably the biggest problem, is you price yourself a DTC, but you forget all the middle shit. And then it becomes a real problem when you're thrown into the other side and all these other complications come into the picture. I mean,
yeah, I think that's kind of a challenge for both. You're absolutely right. And I think that as digital comes more and more into the picture, the traditional KPIs for a physical retailer has evolved. So, you know, we talk about sell through, we talk about gross margin, and we talk about SKU productivity and basket size. So that has evolved into these new KPIs, and like product durability and consumer journey and product valuation, and you know, even sustainability and customer lifetime value. But what we need to understand is that we need to have a hybrid model. So the KPIs also become hybrid, and they, you know, they kind of, they're mashed up together. But physical and digital should be able to live together.
You would think. You would think they should. And yet it's been a struggle for a long time.
Yeah.
But it hasn't, it's not, right? Like I think it's funny because I was talking about this. So you're coming on the omnichannel class next week, and we were talking about this. You know, for the audience, you know this as well. I've been teaching an omnichannel class, and we were talking about this, and we had a guest on this week where we talked about mindset and where that lies. Like if you know, because what we're talking about really is omnichannel retail, right? And being able to be everywhere. It really depends on how your organization thinks about it, right? Like if you have if you don't have a whole management strategy, like if the management team isn't bought into omnichannel, it's not going to work, right? Like your marketing team can do all sorts of things, your retailing group, but if they're not all banging into it, like I know all strategy sounds like that, but this one in particular is really, if the retailer's not bought in wholly at the management level, it's not going to work.
But I think that's where it's always fallen apart, Phil, is that traditional retail just couldn't grasp letting go of what they know. Yeah. And then you had all the DTC side coming in, and you're thinking, yeah, but you guys don't understand like our world. Neither, you know what it is? They all think they know each other's world, and neither has a clue on each other's world. Do you know what I mean? And there might be a hybrid in there. I'm just trying to figure out a good hybrid, because traditional is still funny because they just don't seem to get.
But where do you put, like, so where do you put someone like a Walmart on that list of like folks who are doing it well or not doing it well?
I would say Walmart is doing it very well. I think they do have a lot to learn, and they still have, you know, to grow in that space. I know that they have just revamped their teams in that space, so there is a shift, you know, towards understanding omni in a more holistic way, in a better way. But I think the key thing to remember here is when we have omni-channel and leadership teams and teams are not working together, which is very common in retail and fashion, they love to work in silos, but this is where they can't anymore. And the most important thing is that seamless integrated journey for the customer, so that they have not only visibility to what's available to them to purchase online, on TikTok, on in a physical store, or, you know, have that product available for curbside in 2 hours because they're, you know, part of their store is a fulfillment center. That seamless integration and that visibility is so key to success of any model, but especially an omni-channel model.
Right. I think that's sometimes where the challenge lies. I remember when, I mean, this is going back when it was still relatively new, but it was hard to manage inventory and pricing for physical stores and then be buying for the digital store. And then, you know, so the idea is, well, you know, we'll just get two different buyers, and you'd be thinking, that's great, but I don't want that numbnuts buying what I'm buying and now competing with me that I've, you know, you're causing nothing but chaos. So then you say, okay, we'll get one buyer. Well, one buyer is more DTC and the other one's more physical. So, you know, they'd play to each side, and one side would win and one side would unfortunately not win as much, maybe not lose, but definitely not win as much. So it was trying to get those, like I look at Walmart. If you go into walmart.com or .ca, they have a lot of product, but a lot of that product's not available in store. A lot of that product's not even theirs. It's all resellers. Right. So a lot of the feel is, you're still buying from them, but I know I'm not buying from them. Do you know what I mean? So at that point, I'm thinking, well, shit, I may as well go to Amazon because at least I know it's definitively not anybody. It's just a warehouse that's charging me an obscene amount of money and making a crap load of money on me.
No, but
worse than Loblaws or any retailer.
But Amazon's the same, right? Like you have 4 different, I think it's 4, might be 3 or 4, right? Different models of fulfillment, right? So you could be buying. You could be buying from Amazon.
A lot of times
you could not be buying from Amazon, right?
Well, a lot of times you aren't. A lot of times you are buying from resellers there too, right? Yeah. But I guess on that platform, I don't have an Amazon store to worry about. If I'm a Walmart shopper, I'm used to the physical store. Most likely, I'm assuming most people don't go to walmart.com with never being in a store. I could be totally wrong, but there's so many other options.
I think you're right.
I don't think someone says, holy shit, you know, I've never been in a store. It would be so sexy to shop at walmart.ca. I've got, like, seriously, come on, guys. No. But so that's going to come from a store experience, and I'm going to transition to an online world. But a lot of the stuff is not. So it's omni and maybe the feel to some degree, but they even highlight not in store, only online, not sort of us, sort of another person who will take care of you because they're all under us, but they're not really us.
But I think they make it pretty clear that they have marketplace vendors versus their own.
I think they do too. I just don't know how comfortable, maybe because I'm older than probably both of you. I just don't know how comfortable it feels because it doesn't feel like I'm buying from Walmart now. Not that I buy from Walmart anyway.
Oh, I'm comfortable.
I'm always trying to feel that I want to buy. But you know what it is? I'd rather, I don't want you hiding under that venue. I'd rather just make it Liza's store, and that's where I'm going to go. Don't hide under the Walmart banner. It doesn't give me any more faith or trust. I don't care.
I'm okay with it. I really am. Like I'm okay with it.
I know.
No, I like.
But you got a whole lot of me out there. That's the problem.
The reason I'm okay with it is because one, it's to me, it's no different than if that person set up a physical booth inside a Walmart store.
Or put it on the shelf.
If I went in,
same.
I'd have the same comfort level, right? Like, but if I had to go to Joe Schmo's website, which is probably built in the 1990s and
maybe
whatever, I'm not buying from them ever, right? So there are some assurances. Like I think that's what you're tapping into, right? With the, kind of endless aisle, and then having all these other resellers.
Yeah, but I think it's really great that Walmart has added marketplace because they're giving smaller retailers another avenue besides Amazon.
Yeah,
to get online, get online. So I think that, and I think from what I've seen, Walmart does a lot more vetting than Amazon. Look at
Amazon
all the
doesn't care though, remember. But what's
on.
Amazon though, Liza? They're not a store. They have there's no long-term, like Walmart. I mean, whether you like them or not, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So basically Amazon has no soul is what you're saying.
To be honest with you, I deal with Amazon. If you find the soul, God bless you, and please show me where it is, because I haven't found it. But I've dealt with walmart.com.ca. And definitively, you can actually get to a body, a living being, not AI or whatever else. Like you can actually physically get. So it is a very different feel because they've brought in some of the old traditional, some people, some human bodies. It is, and they do vet because they're protecting their overarching brand. I mean, what's Amazon do? They don't vet. You're right. Counterfeit all over. Your product sells well. They know that. Next thing you know, there's a knockoff brand at Amazon, as you've been now relegated to 29th reseller, even though you were the primary person who owned the product originally until they copied it. So there's a lot of that shit that goes on too with them. So
but from a consumer perspective, I mean, what do shoppers want most? They want a good price. They want fast delivery and free delivery.
Free delivery is huge.
That's what they want.
And I'd like to be able to trust it. And I think I would probably trust Walmart more than I would trust Amazon, even though I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon.
Yeah.
But I think I've just set the bar low.
As consumers, we are going to, I think as consumers, we are going to start shopping from other marketplaces besides
I hope so.
Amazon.
I mean, I really hope so.
You look at Kroger, Target, they're all, starting off their own marketplaces. So I think that's important. Yeah. But on the flip side, I think that we're also giving these small retailers, a run for their money now that they're on Shopify platforms. Like, I can't remember the stat, but I think they're saying that the growth of Shopify is it's so phenomenal that they're 30 years faster than what Amazon was. I don't know what I read today, but I was just like, I don't even understand this stat, but it sounds amazing. because it just tells me that these small retailers are actually making a dent.
Damn right.
You know, I think shopping local is so important.
It is.
And especially now.
It is. It's critical.
Yeah, it is. It's so critical. Yeah.
For even the long-term sake of, never mind just even the schools you go to, the hospital, the roads, all the community tax. Like, it's important to shop in your hood.
I think though, I worry about that because I think while Shopify is making it easier, the rest of it is not easy. The SEO, the SEM, right? The search engine marketing, all that stuff is
tough.
Dude, it's hard. It's hard. Tough. Like you know, someone in Vancouver who does SEO, SEM well, they could find someone, you know, I'm in Mississauga, right? So they'd be able to, you'd be able to market to people here way better than people like down the street if you just knew. So I think like it's so far. I feel bad. I feel bad for little retailers because it's
but
far,
maybe this
right?
is the world that we all live in, though. This
gap,
but this is the world that we live in. Maybe that's the roles of more people like us. Maybe not, you know, I might not be able to do the SEO and SEM that you two can do, but there's other aspects where you start helping these retailers compete on them. When they were on the street competing against the big box guy who was destination, it was very hard to compete.
Yeah.
But once you're in cyberspace, my store is next to yours, like literally next to yours.
Literally.
I'm not 40 blocks away. I'm not an inconvenient travel.
I'm one.
I don't know. That's exactly. It really doesn't matter. As long as you can find me, which is back to what you just said, you got to be able to find me. But quite frankly, I think it's actually a better playing field once you learn some of the other things. Phil, it's a lot harder to pick up my store and move it next to the Walmart to play off their traffic.
I get it.
Than it is to hire somebody for $1,000 or $10,000.
I just think
and do the SEM, SEO.
The SEO, SEM world is a treacherous place. Like you can hire, you know, kind of five schmucks, you know, no disrespect to the SEO, SEM people I know that are good, but there are a lot of people who say they can do what they do. And you're going to
a lot of bandits.
You're going to lose 6 months worth of anything
100%.
Before you figure out that still nobody can find you, right?
But Phil, how much different is that than trusting a realtor to put you in the right location, trusting the vendor to deliver you the right goods, the freshest goods or whatever? Do you know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of complexities that we may take for granted because that's what we know.
Yeah,
you still have to do the dance. Like you still have to pick the right people even at that area.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm closer to it, but I just feel like it's easier to pick those people.
You seem very untrusting today. I don't know what it is. It's like the second or third time I've talked to you today. What's the matter with you today? You're not feeling good. Look how nice Liza. She's got a nice smile. She's so happy. And you're just, I don't know what's the matter with you today.
What are retailers talking about today? Like what like the COVID stuff is, I keep telling the students that, right? But like COVID is like the one seminal moment, you know, in the last decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, whatever you want to call it,
100 years, that
is changing everything, right? Like the way we live, the way we shop, the way we consume information. You know, and Kenny and I have talked about this on this podcast, is what we think post-COVID looks like, or what the new normal looks like. We both hate that word, but
I know, I hate it too.
Well, especially when the last 11 months, there's been more change in retail in 11 months. There's probably been in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, quite frankly, I know that sounds like an exaggeration.
It's not.
My God. Online was coming. We all knew it. Holy shit, did it pop.
Yeah, and it's still going to change. There's so many things coming.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, and these large retailers, let them test it. Let them test, you know, AR, VR, showrooming, live streaming.
Whatever.
Please test it, you know? Yeah. So that we can bring it to these smaller retailers.
Absolutely.
I would love to see that.
They've got the money. Let them try it.
Yeah, exactly. And they are. That's the thing.
Exactly.
They are, and they're doing it well. I mean, look at what's happening in gaming. That's always fascinating to me. How luxury and partnerships on gaming platforms. That's like, wow. It blows my mind, really. You know, you can design a home on that apartment game, or design home that game.
Yeah.
You can design your apartment, and then you can not leave the platform and purchase items from the game. That just blows me away.
Yeah. Now, whether you should or shouldn't, it's another question, but that's okay. Some people should not design. As many will find out after playing the game and it hits the home. They probably should never have designed anything. Gone out and hired somebody to help them with that game.
Yeah. But I think the key to all of that is, you know, targeting a totally different customer base.
It's a whole different world,
never have access to if you just had that physical store.
No.
Yeah.
And to your point, and from anywhere, again, to Phil's argument, you could be designing, you know, in a couch in Vancouver and talking to somebody in Ontario or England or wherever the hell you are, right? It's amazing what you can do today. So in your world right now, what do you out there do? Like, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm talking to you.
Outside of that and calling me George Clooney, which I'm really still happy about, but what are you doing?
What am I doing? Well, honestly, like these days, I'm doing a lot of work with retail technology companies, giving them an understanding of what does it really mean to be a merchant? What does it mean that, oh, you have 20 legacy systems, but I understand the technology side that you can get on board to our platform. What does that mean for you, you know, working in this environment with these 20 legacy systems? Understanding what it means to have visibility on the sales floor. What does that mean for your sales staff? I mean, the retraining that has to happen is one thing, but getting customers comfortable with a salesperson using their tablet or their phone to check things. I mean, you take attention away from them. And now that they're wearing masks, like you have to give them more attention than before.
Yeah.
So
I think see what you're looking like when you're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that there's a lot of help that's needed to bridge the gap between the people actually using these retail platforms and understanding what does it mean to, you know, implement AI to help smart fit in your fitting rooms, or, you know, to help I don't know, live streaming. What does that mean for the person on the other side? Like you have to train the salesperson to not only sell while they're, you know, on the live stream platform, but also upsell and suggest products. So it's not as easy as implementing all this amazing technology that's come into play this last 10 months. But
do you think some of the challenges
about changing that mindset of the salespeople and the customers and the people using the technology? It's changing behaviors.
Do you think some of the challenge is it that on the consumer side, I think the consumers, I mean, whether they know how to use it properly is a different problem, but the consumer has access to a lot of stuff that they're using and they're, do you think it's being pushed from the consumer side? So the retailer's trying to play catch up, and that's what the problems lie, where the staff is thinking, shit, I don't even know what they're looking at. They're coming and asking me questions or finding all this shit, and I don't know where I don't know where they are. I don't know what they're asking. I don't even know what site where they find this.
Yeah, and I think that's where, you know, our conversation earlier talking about integration across channels and visibility, why that's so important. We have, you know, customers coming into stores. I was talking to a GM of Tory Burch a few weeks ago, and she said, you know, I have customers coming into the stores saying, oh, we saw this is on promo on your website, or it's featured on your website. How come it's not in your store? I came to pick it up. You know, there's that lost.
And the store's looking, thinking, what?
Yeah. What? So, but she took it upon herself that, okay, you know what? I need to bypass all this red tape and getting this software into my stores and visibility into my stores. And I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to help my sales teams. But there's such a disconnect because of these silos that we have in retail that it's just going to make or break retail right now, I think. So I'm here to help them, I hope, to bridge that gap, you know, to help them fill in those gaps and understand what it means when you implement this technology, that you need to get the people on board.
You need to go help IKEA.
You got to help a lot of people. You know what, Phil? The problem is...
No, IKEA has some real problems right now. Real problems. Like,
I think they're doing some things really well, though. I think that, you know, the fact that they are really a big part of the movement in circularity and resell, I think that is so awesome.
Yeah. I think that's really
you know, as is Levi's and Patagonia, of course, and some smaller brands too that are pushing sustainability and traceability and accountability to retailers and sourcing partners and how they pollute this environment. We only have one climate, one
completely against everything about retail, though. Completely against it.
I think there's a happy medium.
Consume.
Well, I think there has to be a happy medium.
Yeah,
there has to be.
I think so too. I mean, look, like Kenny and I both, we're older than you, right? So we come from the era where we're probably responsible for a lot of the problems out there.
I'm not taking any shit.
Consumption is, consumption. It was
what drove our business. I mean, you wanted somebody to come in once every 10 years to buy some, or once a week. I need you to consume.
Yeah. Turns and consumption.
Well, that's what it was about.
But I do think that there are cool, like, I think the most extraordinary thing, I was speaking at Outdoor Retail probably 5 years ago now. And Patagonia was hosting a symposium, and they invited everybody. So they went out and got all the competitors to come, and they were talking about microfleece. And I was just like, I don't get it, right? Like, dumb retail guy, but like no idea what's the deal with microfleece, right? I walked in and like they had the EPA there, they had all the I don't know, Columbia and all the other, Arctic Fleece and all these guys. Arc'teryx was there, and they were all, but they weren't competitors, right? Because they're really talking about like, where does this stuff get made? How do we figure out whether it's really, how do you know when you're buying the good crap or you're buying bad crap? And then what happens, right? Like they were, the EPA was explaining how, like bad microfleece just never goes away, right? Like it's kind of like plastic beads. It just sits around everywhere. And I was just like, I was incredulous, right? Because it's the first time I'd seen someone host something like that, where it really wasn't about the competition. It was like, we can all sell this stuff. Like there's
it's both good of all of us. It's going to kill us all.
But it's going to kill us all. So let's figure out how we do this, right? So,
the demise of the entire system is going to be that. So you can be part of it, or try to work toward fixing it so that we actually all survive.
Yeah, and I think that consumers will start to consume less and less because of the visibility they have to what's going on in the world with digital. It's allowing them to see what the fashion industry is doing, how they're harming the environment, how they process fabrics, how that just contaminates water, how much water it takes to make one pair of jeans. I think it's like 90 gallons or something shocking like that.
Yeah.
And then of course all the plastics and the synthetic materials that are out there, and that it goes into our water supply and we drink it. So, all those Lululemons that we're all wearing right now, we're probably it's also inside us. I don't want to say it like that, but you know what I mean.
And you're just talking about the clothing industry.
Yeah,
think of the other ones. We eat 10 times a day, especially during COVID. It's all we seem to do. Look at that. What that supply chain does from top to bottom, and how much grief it calls. And I think that's sometimes where the challenge lies, though, too, because then you're a consumer and you're sitting there and you're all excited and you want to help. And then you start looking and thinking, shit, man, everything I do is a nightmare for this planet. Holy man, like, where do I even start, man? I don't want to show you, I got so much wood product in this room with cards and boxes, and I'm a freaking nightmare to the planet.
Oh my God, the Amazon boxes. That is what is horrendous.
Yeah.
Well, what's worse is, what? There's a shortage of corrugate in the world. So now they're going to produce that much more corrugate because Amazon's chewing up a shitload of boxes. There's no boxes for other people to ship things in. Like, there's no corrugate right now. I'm dead serious. There's no corrugate right now.
I'm laughing at how absurd it is, right? But
it's insane.
It is.
Yeah, I know.
It is.
So we're all going to try to do the right thing. So you know what we do? We'll be environmental. I'm not going to drive the store. I'll have 15 trucks come to my house this week. That's going to be good for the environment. 15 different trucks, 15 times, but I stayed home. See, I helped the environment.
I know. It's it's such a catch-22,
Wow.
But what the good thing is that as we talk about this, which is so important,
it's critical.
It is critical. And that means other people are also talking about it. And we will start to hold retailers accountable, especially now because we know more. We know too much. We can't go back.
Which is good though, and it's holding the supply chain accountable because as soon as the retailers start getting people yelling at them, guess what they do? They just turn around and yell at the vendor community and say, "Fix this."
Yeah,
I'm tired of these people yelling at me. This is your problem.
Yeah,
right. Fix it.
Look at the cotton ban in China. Look at what happened in Leicester for Boohoo. They're paying employees like £3.50 an hour, which is shocking. Also, the state of those garment workers in the UK, like it was like on my doorstep, and I didn't know about it until a reporter went in there and he broke the story, and now they can't get around it. Well, I hope not anyway.
There they can, but on a couple continents, no biggie.
Exactly.
Right? Again, as consumers, though, we need to start yelling, and then the retailers need to start yelling, and people need to listen. We got to try to change this mess.
Yeah, I think it will happen.
I think it will too. I just hope it's not too slow or slow.
I think the other part of that is all of that enables employees to now start to, because before, like particularly if you work for big companies, you don't ask certain things, right? You just kind of like, here's the product, here's kind of the box you live in, right? Even you look at like the J&J guys with the Johnson's baby powder and all that stuff. Before, going like, why, right? But you look at it, and J&J never said, like, I was a J&J employee, they never said don't ask questions, but you also kind of realize like, well, I only feel like I'm comfortable to ask certain things, and then it's out of my purview. Somebody more senior than me somebody above my pay grade.
You also assume though, there's other people that are smarter than you that are doing the right thing. Why do I have to, if I have to worry about every step of the supply chain, like I'm just going to go home a basket case. I mean, I got to be able to trust that somebody's doing the right thing somewhere.
But I think all of this enables you to, ask the questions when it doesn't.
But it totally changes the game because people can yell at people now. I mean, it's probably gone a little too crazy in some degree because
they can just tweet them.
Yeah, it's too easy for people not to actually do any research and just shoot their mouth off and cause nothing but grief too, right?
I think we're going to have to find a new way though. Donald Trump's off Twitter. Like Twitter's going to go out of business. Like
it's been so quiet since the 20th. Like it's been so quiet.
I think it was a mistake for them to pull him off just from a business model perspective. Like all the other reasons I totally understand. And then there are reasons why they shouldn't have done it. But I think the one that hurts the most is like he was really good for their business, right? Like
totally.
Twitter was never as healthy as when Donald J. Trump was on it. So
it's awful.
That's sad in so many levels. That's sad in just so many levels.
It's
an odd. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, really, Phil. Seriously, continuation of your day.
Our podcast has taken this really dark turn.
No, it's all optimistic because there's a lot of changes that are going to happen because of the way things are changing. It's tough at first, and COVID probably didn't help in a lot of ways because right now there's so many different things that are masking other underlying problems, right? Just because the reality of this hasn't hit yet. We're paying people to stay home still, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that. We're tax incentivizing wrong things. I mean, because we're just trying to not sink, right? So there's a bunch of implications that come out of this. But the fact is that I think people are spending more time at home and doing more thinking and maybe looking at the 15 purchases with no joke to the Amazon thing. And I know a lot of people who are trying to, I know it sounds still stupid, but order more at one time to hopefully have less than 15 trucks. It might go down to 3.
Yeah.
Which it sounds stupid, but every little thing helps. The more things that get repacked into a box, not 15 boxes that could have been 2 or 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all dumb things, but they all add up, right?
We're doing that. We're a family of 5, right? So at the beginning of COVID, it was kind of like, oh, if you need it, just order it, right? And then it was really attractive. It's like, oh, it's Prime. It'll be there like in no time, right? And now we have done that. We'll start a cart, and then when the person who needs it the most will go, okay, everybody in, like, is everybody in? And then we really do, we choose that kind of option of, ship the fewest boxes possible, and then try and keep everything together. It is, it seems small. But
it's funny though, Phil, but even that, if you think in terms of retail and the supply chain, like in the old days before this, you know, what would happen? You put stuff on the shelf, someone would come in and buy it, so you knew that it was gone. Now you're filling fictitious carts somewhere, and are you allocating this? Like, yeah. Like, what do you want me to do? Am I taking it off the shelf or not? Like, can someone come in and buy this? Is someone going to yell at me on the other end because it's no longer available? Like, what the hell is this product doing? And I know stores did have a challenge with that, because they're thinking, okay, is it really here? Or is it committed for? Maybe. In a cart while we're waiting for Phil to run around trying to find the kids to finish the damn order.
But no, well, yeah, that's interesting.
Well, think about it. I mean, if you have your own, if all your warehouse is a warehouse and all you do is pick pack, it's easy. If it's not in that location, it's out of stock. If you're using a store as a pick pack, one, is it there or not? If there's a customer standing in front of me looking at it and you're clicking in cart, is it there or not?
I gotta think that there's a virtual there's got to be an algorithm for it, right? Like something that says, like, I've got in my smaller little brain, I'm thinking like I've got 15 on hand, and now
when it hits 5, I'm at 0.
Yeah, like I'm in 14 carts, right? Like they're just sitting around in virtual carts, you know, so it's okay. You know, so it's almost like overbooking flights, right?
For sure. Yeah, totally.
Until you're the person that gets bumped off the flight.
Yeah. But you bring up such a good point, because before, you know, we were building these e-com stores, even in a physical environment, we actually never knew if goods were actually in stock or not in stock. Some stores that I worked with started to implement RFID, which was absolutely helpful.
Yeah.
No more monthly stock counting, and you do it, you know, it's a daily thing. So that helped. But honestly, if it was a challenge before, right now, it's even more of a nightmare.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, again, COVID probably helped, because we're not necessarily walking, or, I mean, think it's so stupid, but you get 10 people in a store, there's 10 left, and 10 people put it in their cart. They just started their shopping in the store for an hour. It's not out of the system. System doesn't know it's gone.
Well, this
10
is
orders
exactly
come in. Now what do you do?
This is what's happening with Instacart, if you think about it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You're buying,
you get
things
substitutions, and you're thinking, I don't want a sub.
Oh my God.
Like, what'd you sub me? I didn't ask for a sub. Well, it's out of stock. Well, no, and I hit cart, it was in stock.
Exactly.
Like, you told me it was there, so I ordered it. And then you get something different. You're thinking, well, why the hell did I get that?
Yeah.
But it does add a complication to retail. Like, think about it. You're walking around the store. The store doesn't know it's out of stock until it goes through the till. You can spend an hour in the store. Not that anybody's doing that anymore, because they're all running in and out. But it does add a massive complication. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know what you do with that. But
well, I think that's where you get, you know, the Amazon store trying to figure it out with their smart shelves, and then you'll implement it hopefully to the masses. I think that's one way to look at it.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
That was the Amazon store was cool but weird. Because there's nobody there. Like I felt like
it feels strange, right?
It does.
Do you
feel
feel like you were shoplifting?
Yeah, very much so. And then the fact that I could just put it in my pocket was. I think I walked through the store with it in my hands, right? Like I was in New York, I think.
You're probably walking like this. I've got it. It's not me.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's right here.
Like, look, I'm not trying to abscond with it or anything. But you know, they're probably like, we don't care. Put it in your pocket. It's probably
whatever you want, man. As soon as you leave the store, you're getting billed for it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's very funny.
Funny.
What are there any cool technologies you've seen? Anything that we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I mean, cool to me is visible inventory.
Yeah, that's cool to a lot of people.
You know, that's pretty cool. There's a few companies that you know, I've done a little bit of work with, where they have visible tools. I say visible. I'm not really sure what term to use, but it's for the sales team on the sales floor, and they can see what their visual merchandising is supposed to look like, the merchant can also see what it's supposed to look like instead of going back and forth with like PowerPoint presentations, which definitely was my life.
Which is terrible.
Yeah, it is. And two-way communication. Instead of picking up the phone, use the app,
right.
Which is, it is super helpful. It would have been a game changer for me. I've seen a lot of the AI plus human chatbots. I think that is really cool. I don't totally understand that, but I do like the feel where you can still humanize the technology. I like that part.
Yeah.
And then live shopping, live streaming, I think is super, super cool. I love it how they use it in beauty. I'd like to see it more across verticals. And I like how CPG is moving into that DTC space. You know, I like the fact that if I want to buy Heinz ketchup, I can just buy it on their website instead of going, you know, to the grocery store. I think it's great that the way retail is changing, whether it's CPG or fashion. And technology is allowing that change. And I think that is, it's going to enable new ways of not only creating product with, you know, 3D printing, let's say for sampling or testing, but also really connecting with your customer, truly connecting with them without those third-party cookies.
What an upheaval, though. Think of it, eh? Think of all that real estate. What are they going to do with all this real estate? Like, I mean, there's been they're going to have to. There's been changes in this world over time, obviously. This one is huge.
It is huge.
It's huge because if you look at most of the real estate in the city, it's retail. Yeah. What are you going to do with it all?
It's true. It's true.
If I can start buying Heinz without going to a store.
I know, right?
Like, seriously, what happens?
But you are going to get, aren't you going to, like, some of it'll go away, but some of it gets repurposed. Like, you think of, like in urban dense, like, you know, Vancouver, Kenny's in Vancouver, we're here in Toronto. Some of the most useful spots, like Penguin Pickup, for example, incredibly useful, right? Like, I can get Heinz delivered to my door, but if I'm not there, like, it would really suck to have a portraiter, you know, like a portraiter steal my ketchup, right? Like, but I do think, like, downtown, you're going to get lockers, you're going to get drop-off lockers, you're going to get, you know,
I'm just thinking of what happens, like, even just think about what COVID's going to do already to commercial real estate in many cities, because people could potentially continue to work from home. So you can have that problem. Then you start looking at retail, like where we can start doing things DTC. You know, all of a sudden, like, I'm not joking. Like, if you really just look around you at office space and retail space,
it's going to take a dive.
What the hell, man? Like, what do you do with all this?
Like,
what are you going to do with all? You know, neighborhoods with just be like downtown Detroit.
I hope not.
I know. And it's not to say it's going to be that bad. I mean, we'll evolve into other things. Like, things change. We just have to learn how to change with it. I know. But I look at that because I'm thinking, I just think because of the office space I know is going to change. And then I know what as retail changes and we go to more to house delivery, all fantastic. That it is. It's fantastic. But if I just walk down my street, I've got lots of retail in this area. And I start thinking, I was walking there and thinking, this shit, man, like, what happens to this? Like, when I really don't need to come here anymore, per se. I mean, you can build condos all day, but right.
But fast forward the behavior a little bit. Like, you think of, so I don't have the answer, but we're all struggling with some of those things, right? We love being home. We love not necessarily going to the store for everything, but we also know, like, it's probably unrealistic to have everything delivered to my door. If I order a bottle of ketchup, it is great, but really I'm going to have a bottle of ketchup delivered to my door. Like, if I'm thinking about carbon footprint, it's terrible, right? Like,
it is terrible.
Oh, it's horrific.
Like from the manufacturing of the ketchup all the way through the delivery.
I know.
Like,
unless you order a lot of ketchup,
like one little toxic package, right? So,
well, you can order cases. You don't have to be that rude. Just order a bunch.
You can get a pallet. It's fine.
Exactly. It's all good. Sell it to the neighborhood.
But
whatever.
I think the point that, you know, I was trying to make with that ketchup was really that you're seeing you're seeing retail get online that you're not used to seeing. You're getting information data from your customers who is
Right.
actually buying that ketchup, for example, where they would never have had that before,
Right.
you know. And I don't think the physical store is actually going anywhere. I think that it's evolving. You know, we're always gonna have our transactional stores, you know, of convenience, whether it's Walmart or Costco or, you know, whatever the case is. But as human beings, we like to go shopping. It's entertainment for us. I don't think physical shopping is going away.
Do you think that still applies to a younger crowd, though?
Yes, it absolutely does.
No, I'm asking. Like, I don't know if the kids want to go.
It does. Okay. Yeah, I think as soon as that warm weather hits, especially in Toronto, we know where are they going. They are going to restaurants, bars, and they are going shopping on Queen Street and King Street East. So I think that it's not going away. I think that the nature of the store is evolving. It will evolve. It has to. And it depends on what type of experience that customer wants. And that's how that store will evolve.
Right.
Take a younger brand like Casper, for example, right? Casper does online mattresses. They have bricks and mortar store. They actually started with, we're not going anything. We're going to stay online. This is how we're going to maintain costs. We're going to do everything. They went opening stores. Now during COVID, they actually have employees that will do, you can schedule an appointment with a person who will walk you through the store using Google Hangouts. You know what I mean? Like they'll live stream the store and kind of show you the mattresses before you pick. And then, you know, you don't have to buy it from the store. They don't even care, right? Like you can order it, they'll walk you through the store and then you can go online and buy it. And they're okay with that. Yeah. Right? Like, so it's definitely there. Like I think the entertainment factor and the, you know, kind of that.
You were just talking stream. That was streaming, though. You were talking, or is that someone physically walking to the store?
No, that's just live stream. I mean, you can go to the store too.
That's live stream. I can just put a store into the warehouse and have the whole world stream into one store.
Yeah.
I don't need 1,000 stores.
We definitely don't.
You
still need stores, though. I think.
To some degree. I just don't know how many you need anymore. You might need some for sure.
But I think
you don't need as many.
No. But I think to you know, Lisa's point is that means that hopefully the stores that you have are a better quality store, right? Because now you're not putting up, you know, 1,800 stores.
Right.
You know, maybe I only need 4 or 5, right? But there'll be quality stores that I know are going to do what I need them to do, right? So, yeah.
It's going to be fascinating anyway. It's going to be a very interesting time.
I agree. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Right?
I'm excited for the change. Yeah. Because I think what COVID has done, that the pandemic has cleared out the players that cannot play the game.
Yeah.
You know, those retailers that never wanted to change the top.
And really probably should have been gone. Probably should have been gone anyway, really, because
of course. Yeah. Yes, agreed. And they should have evolved. I mean, nostalgia can only get you so far.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. It's just the carnage sometimes that leaves behind. Like you just want to know.
That's the sad part.
Now you got to try to take care of the people that were stuck in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crappy management, a crappy thing.
People can change. They hate change, but they can.
You know what? If anything showed us this year that we can all do a lot of things we never thought we could do.
Yeah.
We haven't driven as much as we had. We haven't holiday maybe like we used to. We've definitely eating differently. We're ordering differently. We're buying. Yeah. We can do it. We can.
I can even grow vegetables.
Good.
I didn't think that was possible.
Do you grow vegetables?
I do now. I never thought that was possible. Really, I never thought.
I do my tomatoes.
Yeah, I couldn't make anything grow. My life depended on. Well, I guess, but now I can. So
you can. It also shows you that you can actually do a lot of cool things, maybe. But so I mean, we can change. You're right. I do worry sometimes as the carnage that sort of gets left behind.
Yeah.
Especially on quick change, right? It happens so fast that people just don't get a chance to maybe just anticipate it and kind of go with it. It's just forced, but it is what.
But I think we needed that. We needed that Band-Aid ripped off. Like
I sometimes think
traditional ways of working.
Yeah, reset needs to be a reset.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, anyway.
The sad part is, of course, there's a lot of sadness in COVID, but I think the good thing that came out of it is that for the retail world, the visibility into processes, into tracking sustainable ways of working and understanding how product is made, for that customer. I think that is the cool part of it.
I agree.
That's the good part of it.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today.
Cool beans. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was
My pleasure. I had a blast.
Very interesting. Yeah, it was very cool.
I could keep talking.
Oh, you can come back on.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, you can come back.
You should come back. We would love. You should think about it. So one is one of the offers that we have out now. The website we've just redone for the podcast, but we have a blog we're putting up. So if you have thought pieces you want to put up, we'll put them up for you.
Yeah.
Love to.
We would love to have you back almost whenever you want to do it, even if it's not for a full episode. If you came back for, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes every like 4 or 6 weeks, and you want to talk about something like a cool tech that you saw or something.
Something interesting. Something you saw. Something that really caught your eye. You'd love to share.
Love to have.
Love it.
Yeah.
Especially with us, because we love retail. I mean, it's
oh my gosh. We could we could do this all night.
You could be on every week if you wanted to.
I need a glass of wine.
Well, listen, that's your call, man. I mean, we told you to go get one. You chose not to. You had the window was there.
One thing that we will 100% do is when we're out of COVID and we're able to meet face to face.
Let's go drink.
In Kenny's neighborhood in Vancouver, he's got a coffee bar.
Yeah, come to the coffee bar.
That's a wonderful place. We could literally sit there for hours and
you're on Commercial Drive,
talk retail.
Lovely. Yeah, we're licensed.
That would be great.
Wine. Yeah, good.
That would be awesome. Yeah, do you guys mind if I take a screenshot and I'll post it on all the things? Okay, let me just let me know when.
Sure.
Whatever you want. Apparently, I look like Clooney. I don't care. You can take it any time on mine. I've never looked better.
This is as good as it gets.
This is it, man.
Oh my God,
wait for the wife to come home. Hey. I say, you know who I look like? I got told today by, I didn't even know the person, and she didn't have to say it. So,
But you didn't ask her after the lights turned on, though.
I didn't want to ask it. I wasn't going to talk about it. And why do you got a gain? What's the matter with you today?
You should never ask that question.
Jeez. Can't just let it go. Make a nice moment. It's gotta just...
I would love it if you guys could plug my newsletter. That would be cool.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. So, if you can tell people where to find you and then your newsletter as well.
Absolutely.
We would love it. Yeah.
I'm like shamelessly plugging.
Yeah, no, do it.
Oh God, no.
This is the place. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So if you wanted to find me and the work that I'm doing, you can find me on LinkedIn, Liza Amlani, or retailstrategygroup.com. And of course, The Merchant Life, which is where we love to write our thoughts on retail from a retail insider point of view. TheMerchantLife.com.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Because we like our
Commerce Life had The Merchant Life.
Yeah. It's because we really like her. Everybody should come through us, and we'll help you get to Liza.
Yes.
Even better.
Well, that way we got our cut, right? We got, Phil and I got to, gotta have our play in this one.
Well,
too,
no,
right?
it's our only way to stay connected to Smarty Pants, right? That's
why I like it too, right? At least we're always sort of, we're always relevant that way.
Yeah. I love it.
That was awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I had a blast.
And seriously, think about it. If we want to come on for 6-8 weeks,
yeah, I know, seriously.
Why not?
Yeah.
Especially if it's something really cool, something different, something's changing that we may not see. I love it. That's awesome.
We love it.
Yeah. Okay, done.
Okay.
Awesome.
Just let me know when, and I'll have it ready.
Okay, you got it.
Sounds good.
Yay.
Okay,
thanks.
so I will chat with you in your class on Tuesday.
Tuesday, you got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excited.
That's good.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Very interesting.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
Cool beans.
It's nice though. It's kind of cool though, because there's just so many changes. And again, it's probably because I've been in retail. Well, I've definitely been in retail longer. It's the changes come so fast and furious. It's just trying to. It's I sometimes what it is. I just look at what I do, and it's so stupid, right? It's not stupid. You just look at the carnage that could possibly follow. Like I do. I walked, and it was just the other day. I was walking toward the drive, and I just started looking and thinking, shit, man, this is like, what's this all going to become? When half of them closed because it was restaurants, because they couldn't make it through COVID. I mean, they'll hopefully reopen later date. But a lot of this retail I walk by, I can buy that online. I've been buying that one online. Well, that one, I would never have gone in there before. I'm definitely not going anymore. So I can definitely do that one online. And you start going through that process, you're thinking, what are these people going to do? Now it's incumbent on them to the changes happen.
Yeah, you
you got to deal with it, right?
Yeah,
so if you choose not to deal with it, we'll do Lori. If you choose not to fix it, well, then your choice has been made for you.
Yeah.
Like you've decided that. So maybe you got to wake up and say, okay, I can complain that retail's changing, and I can complain that yes, you can buy a bottle of Heinz from Heinz, and that kind of defeats the purpose of me in retail. Or I can make it that why would you want to buy that at Heinz? Come in and I'll show you what to do with it, and you need 10 other products with it. I'll show you to make something really cool with Heinz or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it has to morph into. Like you've got to start really, you know what it maybe is? You got to start working again for the customer you get.
Yeah, you really do, right?
Like, right.
I think, you
got to put some effort
into
competitive.
It. Like it's just got a lot more competitive. So
it's gotten way different because you can't even see your competitor right now.
Yeah.
Like you're not competing with you in Vancouver. I'm competing with you in Toronto.
Yeah. But I mean, like over the last 30 years, it's been okay, right? It's been okay for you to go, listen, I'm going to put up a store. And then if I kind of go and, if I go and copy Kenny's store and I just kind of get all the same products, I can throw it up, and with enough traffic between the two of us, maybe I cut half of Kenny's traffic away from him, but I can compete, right? But now you really got to think about what it is that you want to do, because that doesn't work anymore, because there are 18, 19, 20 of these online stores who are doing the same thing. They're going to cut your pie from 2 of us to 20 of us. So now you got to think about, like, is it worth it? Like, should I be doing this or not? Right? Like, maybe I should be doing something else completely. Right. So,
when you look at the Casper, this is what I was getting with Casper, right?
Yeah.
That's great. You can walk me through a store, right?
Yeah.
But typically those stores had to be in decent areas. So location,
yeah,
which you pay,
yeah,
and all the other stuff. All of a sudden, I could be in the industrial park at 1/3 the rent, but I could put a freaking Skookum store inside the warehouse in a corner that nobody sees, and I could walk you through that store that I'm paying 1/3 the rent.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be open Monday to Sunday because, quite frankly, I don't care.
Yeah.
The whole game, and that's what I go back to the commercial side of the real estate. I know we don't talk, there's a whole bunch of other shit that happens. All of a sudden, what's location? It's virtual. Could be on the moon. As long as you can get the product.
It's actually just doesn't really matter. SEO.
Whole different world now, right?
Yeah.
Whole different game.
I totally get
because all those other old school components. You had to put your coffee bar in the best corner of the street. Yeah. Now, maybe in that, because it's still a physical, like you're buying, you're going to buy the drink, but if it's something that can be shipped, what's the difference? You ship it from an industrial warehouse in Kent. Yeah. Like, who cares? Yeah. It's going to be interesting, man. It's a cool time. Not to be flippant, and not that I'm excited to see people go through change they may not have anticipated or wanted, but it's still a pretty cool time.
No,
there's a lot of changes. A lot of cool changes to come.
There's a lot of things coming. It's
absolutely
super interesting.
Okay, I gotta go. I gotta check dinner. I put dinner in just before I got on the podcast.
Okay, you go. And I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm gonna